Welcome back, crew, to Boats vs. Haulover, where man and machine take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet in Miami, Florida, and today's gonna be a fun one. We got about a 15 to 18 mile an hour wind, an outgoing tide, 3 to 4 foot seas. Let's see how our captains fare as they do battle with the inlet. And this is going to bring us to the first round of our contest. And here in the first round, the boats are going to toss a checkmate in the ring to go ahead and see if they can wind up pulling off a win here in the first round of our contest. But here we go, man, they blast their way straight out of the inlet. Cap had that throttle opened up, but unfortunately, that first wave was enough to knock them off their game. Cap quickly pulls back on the throttle and says, yeah, after that first one, I don't think this is the day for us. And they go ahead and pull that patented haulover U-turn right in the middle of the inlet and are going to go ahead and limp back in and hang out at the sandbar, and unfortunately wind up taking a loss for the boats here in the first round. And that's going to bring us to the second round of our contest. Haulover has an early 1-0 lead, but here in the second round, the boats are going to toss a contender in. Let's see if we can get them on the board. This Cap's leaning into the throttle as well, and gonna go ahead and try and send it right out the inlet. Takes that first smack, and they just keep on battling their way through it. I'm gonna be honest, they look really solid. They've kept on the throttle, letting the boat do its thing, getting out into the rougher rollers out here on the outskirts of Haulover, but overall, an amazing run, and this crew will wind up taking a win for the boats here in the second round. And that's going to bring us to the third round of our competition. We are now tied back at 1 apiece, and here in the third round, the boats are going to toss a trophy in the ring to see if it can go ahead and take the edge. Now, many of you probably know trophies are actually made by Bayliner, and I'm pretty notorious for giving Bayliners a hard time, but let's see how this crew fares as they start to work their way out. And honestly, up front, I'm pretty impressed. They look good early as they're working their way out of Haulover. They found that right pace to get out of the inlet pretty securely. They're keeping the bow high, even with somebody riding up in the bow. They're doing an amazing job. And I gotta be honest, it looks like they're gonna wind up taking a win for the boats, and there we go! We get a hatch that opens up, showing you that Bayliner quality, but I can't knock them too hard. This crew makes it out safely. I'm gonna give them the win, and that's going to give the boats a 2-1 edge as we move into the fourth round of our contest. And here in the fourth round, the boats are gonna toss a Stingray in the ring to go ahead and see if they can take that early victory. And no, Cap loses his hat. As he's coming out of Haulover, he continues to look back as he's working his way forward, trying to see if he can locate the hat. I don't think, not in this situation, especially with this boat, it's not worth going back for. You don't have enough freeboard to get yourself out of trouble if things go wrong while you're doing this. Man, but this shows you how much the current rips here at Haulover. The hat's caught back up to the boat. Again, I don't recommend this. He's not wearing the kill switch lanyard. He could have easily gone overboard, and you just saw how fast the current's ripping. Man, things could have gone wrong fast there. We could have had a boat on its way off to wherever with nobody on board, all over what's probably a $10 hat. I just don't recommend that one, and because of that, I'm actually going to give Cap the loss on this one for pulling off a move that I just absolutely don't recommend at all. And again, breaking the law, not wearing the safety kill switch lanyard adds to that fact. And that brings us to the fifth round of our contest, and we are now tied at 2 apiece. And here in the fifth round, the boats are going to toss a C&M Continental into the ring to see if it can go ahead and sneak out the win. And here we go. Our yacht is up on plane. Cap has laid into that throttle, and he is letting this boy eat as it makes its way toward the mouth of Haulover. It's a fairly heavy following sea that they're making their way through. As you can see, even this big boat's bouncing up and down pretty good as they come right down the middle of the inlet. But unfortunately for Haulover, this boat is going to be too much as it makes its way through, and it's going to wind up taking a win for the boats, and that means the boats are going to take the win in this episode. Thanks for watching, crew. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Boats vs. Haulover. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats, who does a bunch of great things down at the inlet. My channel, Broncos Guru, does some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the hilarity that happens at the boat ramps in South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.